It's great, and I love it.
And Succession sucks. All right, I've got my raspberry twisted tea.
Pug,
I've
pug, pug.
got some nice warm socks on.
Pug, pug, pug.
I'm nice and toasty.
Yeah,
So let's
speaking
just
of
bring it on.
nice, warm, and toasty, let's talk about Ted Lasso, dog.
Makes my heart warm.
Let's give some background. I watched all 3 seasons in like the past week, like dead ass in one week, because we were gonna talk about it we decided like maybe like half a week ago, where I was like, maybe we could talk about it this weekend because it's ending.
Well, what happened was we started talking about Ted Lasso and how much we love it, and we were like, wait, we have a podcast.
Yeah.
Where we talk about things we like.
And I was like, oh
we
shit, it's ending too.
Probably not have this conversation right now.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. It's one of the most wholesome shows I've ever watched. Like Ted Lasso.
Literally, it's
is
like
my
manufactured. It's manufactured to be wholesome as fuck.
Yeah.
Like that is the point.
I actually never told you about this, but the reason I finally decided, well, first of all, I don't have access to Apple TV. My friends have had it from their family members, and that's like a couple of degrees of separation that like I didn't want to ask them for it. But then my friend got his own, and then I was like, I don't mind mooching off of him.
Oh, so now okay, yeah.
But anyway, the reason I finally asked again was because I was watching Hot Ones, and Jason Sudeikis was on there.
Oh, it was such a good episode, and
I was like, I love this guy so much. I loved him before Ted Lasso. Like I knew him from like a lot of different other movies and SNL and all that stuff. So I was like, this guy's fucking great. I need to watch his show. Like I just need to watch something with him. And I was so happy to watch it. Anyway, what were you saying?
It was crazy because I watched that and I was like, oh, Ted Lasso. I love that show. Let's watch this. And literally, like, he was so genuine and nice and cool. And he was like, they're cool when they start asking the host questions and like having a conversation instead of just like checking boxes of answering questions. That was like this dude is so nice, and then he made something so beautiful.
So the show has like so much heart into it. It fills my heart with joy. It also makes me sad at certain times. But like one thing I want to like pick up and dissect, that I kind of started talking to you about this when we were on the phone, is like I never expected a show like that, especially coming off of the first season where he's the most, and like I think it fits so perfectly well where some people can relate, and like I relate to it a decent amount, where like you can have somebody who looks like the most wholesome, put together guy on the outside, but he halfway through the show you realize that he's like dealing with like anxiety, like a crazy amount of anxiety, and he has these like
panic
like these episodes, where he's like I can't function, and so like I've gone through like certain like anxiety attacks in the past like couple years, and like seeing that was like a crazy like representation where it's like, oh shit, like people go through this stuff like in real life, like people like I don't necessarily have the ringing, but like the moment where you're like in a public situation and you start feeling yourself just, go like, down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you feel like everything is like
zooming out, like you're like zooming
you're
out,
like,
and you're like I can't,
going inside your body.
Yeah, and it's like a crazy amount, because like it fits so well in this movie, or in this like world of like wholesomeness, where it's like, yeah, like even in this moment where everybody looks at him and goes like, that's the guy who's like my shining light. Like all the football players like look at him and he's like, that's our guy. Like we trust him with everything. But he can also be going through certain things in like a public setting, like after a win, after anything that's like happy. It could be like the best day of his life, but he could still just like sink back in and fall into that pit hole. And this movie, like, or I keep saying this movie, sorry, we were just talking about a movie before, but the show just keeps like it shows you how like a person can deal with it, how he can like seek help, even if he's like very resistant towards it at the end or in the beginning. And it's so nice. What were you gonna say?
Remind me, because he has his like first like big panic attack after something like awesome, right? Like something good, great. He's like in a club or something, having a good time, and then it's just like, bam, panic attack.
I think that was the first one. And I think the second one was during the game.
And I remember he like starts like focusing. I was so surreal because he just starts like
finger
focusing on his hands and like and I just it felt so real. Like somebody who has this problem made this scene.
Yeah, and so it was like, I don't know, it did something for me, man. Where I was like, I saw that and I was like, oh my god, like that's just
relatable AF.
Yeah, and you don't like ever realize what somebody's going through. Like you just don't. Like you know, like you can see somebody go like, wow, they have all their shit together, but they could be going through some real shit on their own. And I felt like that was like a huge theme throughout this entire show, where it was like, yeah, he's like trying to like lead this like this football team to do like everything, but then he even has that realization, I think, in either the second or third season, where like, you know, he just got with Sassy or whatever, and then he's like, hey, let's go on a date, and she's like, no, we can get a date. And he's like, why not? He's like, you're a mess, dude. And he's like, I'm not a, am I a mess? And like, you know, they kind of like, he goes to everybody, he's like, oh yeah, you're a mess. And he's like, what? And he's like, I thought I was doing well. He's like, no, dude, like you obviously have a lot of stuff that you have to like address, but you're just kind of avoiding it. And like, yeah, like you picked up this job to go across the planet because you're trying to avoid something right now.
Across the pond, if you will.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's like you haven't even watched a bit of British television.
Okay, but I also heard that you have your own favorite character. Who's your favorite character?
I wouldn't say favorite character. I'd say
you love him a lot.
Idol and
Okay.
new blueprint for the rest of my life is Roy Kent, who is one of many of the success stories of this show, of like just like character wise, like the development of his character from just an angry, pissed off, what's the word, like, I don't want to say superstar, but he's like all up about himself and just fuck everybody else, going from that to like just like a real sweetheart.
Dude,
but still kind of prickly. It's so fucking good. Like, and he's just, everything he does is so funny. And then I've like watched videos of like, because this is, I think, is the first acting gig for that actor, and he was just like, I was so scared the whole time. I didn't know what I was doing, and so it's been such an amazing experience. And like for him, I'm like tearing up just because it makes me so happy. Like this, so much good stuff has come from this show. They do such a good job making the stakes for these characters as real as they can be for like a superstar soccer player. You know what I mean? Like they ground these people and give them good character arcs and make them likable.
I also like how they also treat them like children a lot of the time.
Yeah,
it's like they're just like a bunch of rich
soccer stars. Yeah,
a bunch of rich kids.
It's so funny when they just like go with whatever because they're fucking, they can do whatever they want because they're like quote unquote like above everybody else because football over there is such a big thing.
I'm gonna say it right now, the funniest and possibly most iconic line from the entire fucking series.
If you don't say what I think you're gonna say, we're gonna have to have a fight.
I'm pretty sure I saw it on Twitter or somewhere before I even watched the show, and I was like, damn, that was funny. And it's when Rebecca comes in there and is like, Roy can't get your hairy ass in my office. And then he turns around and he's like,
that was good. It's like, you all know I don't have hairy ass, and none of you said anything. And they were all like, yeah,
you're cowards.
Right. Yeah. But I'll have to argue that the best... Okay, so the best single... Okay, that can be the best line, but the best single word in all of Ted Lasso, and it's not far from when that happened, was when Jamie Tart said, poopeh, poopeh, poopeh. I can't even do it right, because I found out he literally, that got in the show because he was just trying to make the one guy laugh.
Really?
Roy Kent. He was just trying to make him laugh. That's why poopeh, because he was just saying stupid shit. Poopeh. I need to go take a and God, when he said it again at his mom's house, I was so fucking happy. Like I think about the way he says poopeh. Apparently not enough because you can't recreate it because it's so like, it's just like the levels to how he said it. You know, it's like masterclass acting. Poopeh.
Yeah.
Poopeh.
I'm gonna bring up some turmoil in the behind the scenes of this video. Because one of us didn't do our homework for this video. After I was slaving away for the past like week to make sure that I got through an entire season in like 4 days. We talked about this on the phone. You know, we gave the backstory, and I was like, yeah, like you're finished. He's like, yeah, I got like a 1-2 more episodes or some shit like that. I was like, all right, cool. Let's talk about it this weekend. Brother didn't watch it. He didn't finish the last episode. Patrick, if you don't know who I'm talking about. And I finished the entire... I tried so hard to finish the last episode today, too. I was like... I watched 2 episodes while I was at work. And then I watched the last episode like an hour before we started to make sure that I had everything
done.
But anyway, so I want... But I just want to get some background so I can explain.
You want to know what I was doing?
What?
Fucking watching Spider-Verse for you, babe.
Yeah,
I
what
went
about
out
Saturday?
into the
What about
world
Friday?
for
What about
you.
Thursday?
Um,
Zelda.
yeah, fuck you, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I
I
do
played.
want to
Oh, I
have.
I just want to say before that. Speaking of Zelda, I found out I've played 135 hours.
Damn. Anyway, I wanted to say one moment that happens in the last episode, and that's like the only thing I'll give you like a little thing. So it's a little spoilery, sorry. But there's a really wholesome moment that it's about Roy Kent, where he kind of
Oh,
like
you
asks
can't.
like,
You just need to stop. If you're gonna tell me something that happened with my favorite character, you just gotta stop.
but no, it's just like a general idea where he just asks like have I not changed, and they have a little conversation about that, about if he changed. And I felt like that moment was a very like wholesome moment
Mm-hmm.
that I'm excited for you to watch, because it was like a good moment where it's like, Roy Kent, like you're such a hard ass at the
Fucking
outside,
hell! Fucking
but
hell!
you're such a sweetheart on the inside, man. I
It's
love
like
him.
I don't think he has changed because he's always been that sweetheart. It's just he couldn't get it out.
Yeah, well, maybe they talk about that in the conversation. I don't know. Maybe we can.
Well, fuck. Well, shit. Goddamn. Okay. Who should we talk about next? Should we talk about the Wonder Kid? Because I fucking
I hated him.
that you're supposed to hate him.
I know, I hated
But
him
because he
so
hated
much.
himself, and I
know.
knew the second he turned into a little shithead, I was like, he's gonna come back.
Which
There's
they
no way.
definitely planned that from the beginning, because like the second he got the promotion, he was treating people like shit. Like
Right, and that was like
in the first season.
they love to like just give people these like complexes. Like he
Yeah.
was treating people how he was treated, and even worse.
Yeah.
And then you get the fucking background with his dad, and I gotta tell you, man, I bawled my fucking eyes out whenever
The dad scene.
whenever he was playing the violin, and his dad was like, I didn't know how to parent you because you're such a genius,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry. And it was just so fucking powerful. And then after that, it's like the switch flipped in him, and he was just like, I gotta fix my shit. I gotta get this shit together. I'm just overwhelmed.
In reality, I would probably be more like a Roy Kent, where I'd be like, ah, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. He can join, I don't care. But as a viewer watching the show from like an outside perspective, I wanted him to like be almost like a little more like sorry, and have a moment where he was like, damn, I really fucked up. He did have that moment though. He did like maybe I was probably thinking about that before he had that moment where he oh wait, was that in the last episode? I don't know.
Well, it was
I don't know.
stewing. It was stewing since the beginning. Like you saw, like he was expecting to have the same experiences he had with Ted, with that piece of shit other guy, and he saw like, oh, this is not, the grass is not greener over here. I had it so good over there, you know.
Yeah.
But he just was so fucking hated himself so much he couldn't admit it, and finally he like saw it, and he saw it all, and then the point where he's like talked about his girlfriend, and then he's like, oh, we're having a boys' night, and he brought those girls. That was when he was like, I have too much self-respect
Yeah.
for this motherfucker. God, oh, it's
was
just
gonna-
like
I was gonna say though, the
Such
only
a good
thing that I was like annoyed by, but I mean, I guess, you know, like the writing is phenomenal, because like it is something that makes sense for his character, because like he was always like a genius. He was always like very smart with the plays. Like he knew how to handle the team. He knew what he was
saved the
talking
team.
about.
He saved that team. Yeah.
But the compliments, the overwhelming like gratitude that everybody had for him was what kind of drove him to like leave, right? Like that, like when everybody,
Right. He got
that was-
too big for his britches.
yeah, and like he kept thinking that like he was too much. But I like what, like I was saying, like the salty part of me was getting like sad that I was like, why does everybody keep calling him a genius, bro? He deserves to be shat on. He deserves people to be like, fuck you, dude. Look what you did to our team. And like look what you did with the belief. Dude, I honestly, I gotta side with the footballers. Like I don't know what it is about me, whatever. But like the thing that he did that hurt me the most was the believe sign. Like honestly, when he tore that down,
Yeah.
I was like, you bitch, you're never coming back. He's like, stay out of here. I don't want you back.
That's what fucking Coach did. Coach was like, we're fucking done. And then just that was such a beautiful thing
That was a good
too.
moment.
When
That
he
was a good
was like, come on. When Ted was like,
And then you get, dude,
you know why we have to let him back in. You know, of all people.
I love that we didn't really get any background information on Beard like the entire time, but we just got little snippets of it all the way until the last season.
Right.
And then
At the
you just
second
get
to last
little, like-
episode, he was like, here is everything that led up to this.
Yeah.
Every detail.
Which I love Beard so much. He was so funny. He was hilarious. And he was like a great, like, it was so weird because like a lot of times he was like the straight man of like the conversation. Like, like
No, he was not, because he went with whatever happened.
yeah, but like in the same yeah, I guess. But it felt like, it also felt like he would like, oh, if Ted Lasso was like doing something off the wall, sometimes he would just say something like, oh, this is actually how like the game. I guess I'm thinking about like when he would say certain situations about the game.
He would
be like,
bring
this is like,
okay, so he would bring it back to reality.
yeah,
So
yeah, he'd be like, this
technically
is how
he's
you're
a
supposed to
straight
do
man. Yeah.
yeah.
But I just love everybody fucking committed to the bit, and that was like that dynamic was amazing. Because there was nobody who was like, this is stupid. They were all like in whatever was happening.
Dude,
except Roy Kent. I love the scene where the dogs, the diamond dogs, and Roy is just like, I'm not fucking doing this.
I love
but he's still like dogs. He just like was in the other room still listening, still kind of participating, and just doing that grunt. I'm just like, ugh.
The moments in like the last season when like he'll say something, you'd be like, or like Diana Rose in this. And he's like, what have you done to me? No, I fucking love the Diamond Dogs. Like that feels like something that I would do. Like I would go like, I would be the one that, but like I don't think anybody would commit to the bit with me. But I would be in the room going like, all right, Diamond Dogs. Like I would definitely do that in a fucking room, and I know for a fact that in most rooms I would be the only one being like.
That was what was so good about the Diamond Dogs is like,
dude, they're fucking tiny little like whimpers,
they
like.
But then it's like they actually like cared, and they actually like tried to help each other instead of it being a joke. Yeah. Instead of it just being a complete joke, they were like actually giving some solid fucking advice.
They're giving advice, but they'd be like, "Can I go?" And he's like, like they would go like, and they all had their own unique ones too. Like each one would be like one of them would be like, or the other one would be like. Oh my god. Oh, but I will say this show gave me like another life that I wish I could have, where I wish I was like a European going to the pub every day with my boys. Like I wish that I was like,
oh my
like
god,
that's
the
another
pub boys. The pub boys even had fucking redemption.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, some people like wish that they were not actually wish that they were like that, but some people go like, oh, I wonder how my life would be as like a, oh, what is it called for like those Japanese, like, is it businessman? Company man, where like they would say like, like it's like, oh, I wonder if like how, like sometimes I wish my life was like a simple, is it company man? Am I right? Company man?
Salary man
also feels weird.
Same difference.
Whatever, that kind of thing. Like they wish they were just like going there and then going to the bars or whatever. That's kind of how I feel. It's like, man, I wish I was like, I wonder how my life would be if I was like a guy who just went to the pub and just cheered on my soccer team every night, just drinking some beers with my homies just every day. Like that was my only thing. It'd be nice and simple. It'd be pretty chill.
Yeah, but I think it'd be nice to have friends too.
Anywho, I fucking love this show. That's just like the roundabout saying it. Everything was so good. There's a lot of redemption stories that happened.
Okay. I want to know what you think of this criticism that it went from being like a show to like a therapy session. Like that's a complaint I've seen a lot. It's just like they went too hard in the mental health shit. What do you think of that? Because I haven't noticed it at all. I feel like that was there in the DNA of in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that. I don't think people realize that was like the Ted Lasso way from the get-go. Like that was his shtick when he came over there. He didn't know anything about soccer or football. Like he didn't know a single damn thing, but he knew about people and he knew about coaching. And so he would use his own like quirky, wacky techniques to get closer to the teammates and learn what they were going through his own little wacky way. And then like that was like the whole thing of like the second season where you realize that like he is like putting all this effort to get to know these other people and why they do things and how he can help them out and like find out about their personal issues, where the second season like kind of peeled it back and was like, whoa, like you're kind of a mess, Ted, because we nobody was focusing on you.
He's got his own issues. Yeah. He's got to work on himself. Yeah.
And so I think people just didn't realize that. Like people just thought, oh, it was like a quirky little like sports show, but like that was the whole point. He was like, the first season was like him getting to know the players and getting to know their mental struggles. And then second season was like the, Ted Lasso kind of situation where like, yeah, like a lot of the second season, he wasn't, I mean, he always had like those quirky moments, but it wasn't as like upbeat as the first season. And then yeah, like and then like the third season is all of it kind of coming together and like meshing well with like the redemption arcs of everybody and like them all like realizing that they all like need their help in certain ways and they need the team, they need the family, and they need like the reassurance of the people around them. Realize that like they can seek help and they're never alone. I don't know. I feel like that was like yeah, like you say, I completely agree. It was in the DNA from the show from the beginning. People just didn't realize it because all they saw was sports. God damn, I love sports.
Yeah, smoke some beer.
Yeah, smokes. Wait, I said smokes. Sports, beers in the pub. Let's go.
Sports, beers, and I can't do a British sports.
No, I
beers.
can't.
That's more Australian. I don't know why.
I do love the evolution of everybody fucking hating Ted Lasso at the beginning and him having a smile on his face, and he just like won them over, like slowly but surely. Everybody loved him at the end, and he literally left there, and like that was there's a good moment that I can't really say about the last episode. But
is it the dance? Because I saw the dance was spoiled.
No,
that it's a call. No. It's a callback. No, it's a callback to like the pilot.
That's not what I'm talking about. But there's another good moment.
But I thought the last thing I saw, which I thought was nice, and of course he's leaving to go be with his kid. Like duh. But like the whole point of like, well, this is the point of the season where I tell you some big shocking news, and he was like, well, actually, like, of course, like that was nice. That it's like expected, but also subverted. You know, you expected the subversion, and I think everybody has evolved so much that I'm just overwhelmed with happiness thinking about this show.
It is so nice. It was. Oh, and that's one thing that we wanted to talk about. So the two biggest shows right now that a lot of people are watching simultaneously: Ted Lasso and what's the HBO show? Succession. I was gonna say Severance. I was like, that's not. Succession. I cannot like a lot. So I actually asked one of my friends this because I was like, it's crazy how you guys are like watching both shows because they're so opposite, and they're like, yeah, well, you need that balance, and maybe that could have helped me watch Succession, but like I love Ted Lasso for every reason why I don't think I can make it through Succession. It's like it's the most wholesome, down to earth, focus on a person that is going through a real struggle while also doing something that's like incredibly like not mundane. You know, like he's literally like leading an entire football team, but he's also like going through his own struggles. Whereas Succession, it's like, yes, the whole point of the show is to watch these like rich spoiled brats go through, you know, turmoil or whatever. But like I just can't get into the idea of like
it's
watching
like
rich people deal with their own issues.
Gutter TV. It's you're there to watch them fucking backstab each other and fucking suffer. And I don't get any joy from that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just don't care. Like,
and you're supposed to like be able to make fun of them because it's how ridiculous it all is.
Yeah.
Like people are saying it's a comedy. I don't find it funny. I just think it's like it gives me an icky feeling.
I agree. Like I would never say that it's a bad show. You know, a lot of people like say it's one of the best shows out there right now. Sure. But I just can't. I personally can't get into it. Like the shows that I really enjoy are like Ted Lasso, One Piece, where like the whole thing about him is the fact that he's like a guy always with a smile, even if it's like he's in the worst situations possible. Like I gave Succession a chance. I think I got like 5th or 6th episode in. And a lot of people say it's a slow burn, so maybe I would enjoy it if I made it that far. But
I've tried 3 or 4 times.
That's true. Yeah, you did say that. You did say that
because people keep saying how good it is. I'm like, I finished everything else. I'll give it a shot. I turn on. I can't even get through half an episode because I'm just. It's not fun for me.
Yeah. Oh, but it's the same reason why I never wanted to watch White Lotus, which I don't think people hold them in like compared to each other. But it is the same reason why I don't like. I never even wanted to turn on White Lotus, like because I looked at the description on. I think it's on HBO as well. Maybe somewhere else.
Yeah. It's on. Sorry, it's not on HBO. It's on Max.
Oh, okay. Sorry. And I checked the description, and it said, I'm gonna like paraphrase, but it basically said a bunch of rich people are stuck in an island and have to go through some like random shenanigans on an island, or they're stuck somewhere and they have to like deal with all or it's a resort. They're stuck in a resort and they all have to deal with each other. And I'm like,
oh no,
I don't want to watch that, dude. Like I don't want to sit here and be a third party to rich people dealing with rich people problems. The whole point of like the Ted Lasso thing is that there are a lot of rich people in that show, but they're all going through like very human things and very much like situations where it's like, you learn about their struggles, really, like, you know what I mean? God. And once again,
I
it's
just
the
want to
wholesome
talk
vibe.
more about Ted Lasso because that just reminded me of Jamie and fucking
Oh,
going to his mom's house and his
that was so
dad and all
nice.
that shit. But anyway, we moved on. I'm sorry. It's
No, no,
just
no, no. Let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah, because like
I just
this was
I
about Ted
just
Lasso. Yeah.
fucking just all I gotta say is poopy, poopy,
Okay.
poopy,
Nah,
poopy. I
Jamie
almost have it.
definitely,
I almost fucking have it.
Jamie definitely turned into
He was
a
like the star.
surprisingly,
He is the biggest flip beside
yeah.
well, no, I'd say he's more of a flip than fucking
Nate,
Wonder Kid. Why I can't think of his name for some reason.
Nate,
Nate the Great, yeah.
yeah, Nate. I still kind of felt a little. It's not like I didn't forgive him, but I was still like, if I knew him in real life, yeah, I would give him another chance, but I would also like not trust him. But Jamie, you kind of just felt. I felt more like he was like an asshole that you kind of learned why he was an asshole. You kind of figured out
Well,
all
you
this
learn
stuff.
why
And
Nate's an asshole too,
I
but
know, but like he
he
never
was
did
like
anything
he's
as
like
bad.
Nate was like the final villain. Like the
Yeah,
wound is still
yeah.
fresh. While Jamie had his whole redemption done
Like the first
like at the
season.
beginning of the last season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And now we're getting like the fallout where it's like he's a complete 180 of who
Mhm.
he was before, where he's like, I don't want to make a goal. I want people to I want to help everybody else have success for the team instead of
Yeah.
being the star. And it's so crazy because it's like the first season it's like, please be a team player, please, for the love of fucking Christ. And
Oh,
then he figures that out, and then the last scene is like, please show off just a little bit.
dude,
Just
the
please,
moment with
we
the whole
need you.
flipping him off,
Yeah,
so fucking
yeah.
phenomenal. It was like, we'll give you a signal when we want you to be a prick, and I'll just flip him off. It's so
And it's
fucking
just
great.
like him finding his balance and him finding like
Where to use his strengths and everything. Yeah.
right instead of just like completely giving in.
Oh,
It's amazing.
I like honestly after finishing the first season because like sometimes because I watched it so quickly like in a fucking week. I always forget that like the first season ended with like Roy Kent uh battling with the fact that like he may never be able to play soccer again or whatever, and he
Yeah,
like injured
yeah.
himself. And I was like, I never expected him to go through this arc where you know, maybe by the end of the first season, but like when I started the show, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a battle of like them. Like by the end of the show, Roy and Jamie are gonna learn how to play together and do that,
Nope.
which I mean they do like emotionally, but like
Yeah.
Roy's just doesn't play for the rest of the show, and I was like, wow, like I did not expect that. That's kind of crazy. And then they bring on new people. You know who I did not expect to be like a
Fucking hell.
consistent person for the entire show? The Danny from like Mexico.
Danny Rojas. Oh my
Dude,
god. I
he's
was
so
thinking about
funny.
him too cuz it's they even give him such a he's like a meme. He's
so
he's
fucking
a
funny.
joke because
Dude, that
it's
part.
just like such a but then they like show he has depth too cuz the whole show whole show he's like absolutely he's just smiling the entire time. He's just like football is life. I love it. Except where he killed that dog.
That's
But in the
so
in the last season where he's like he is playing against the Canadian and just turns into
Yeah,
this
that's what I was gonna
complete
say.
villain.
That's what I was gonna say.
It was
I
so
love
good
that. He's
because
just
it's like
we are no
it's
longer
like
brothers. You're my enemy.
this is the World Cup. I don't give a fuck about you. And then as soon as the World Cup was over, he was like, "That was crazy, man. Wasn't that such a crazy game? I can't believe you broke your nose." And he's just sitting there like, "You broke my nose, dude. What the fuck?"
I do love how like everybody on the team got their own good moments. Like even
I
if
don't
some of
think
them were like
everybody.
shorter.
Yeah, right. I don't think they had time for everybody because there's a whole fucking team.
Yeah,
But
but I feel like
all
a
the
lot
like
of them had like good
standouts,
moments.
all the standouts
Like
stood out.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like I could tell, like I never expected Zorro or Van Damme to have like a long lasting like impression of me or Danny or like the French guy, and then the whole arc with like the guy who turned out to be gay. Like a lot of those, I just thought they were gonna be like side people. They're gonna be the background of like, oh, this is the entire
Mhm.
team.
They're
But I
gonna
feel
be
like
they're gonna be a joke and done. No, they had like
they all had like their
they
own little
had
specific
real character.
Once again, like impressions. Like they had like impressions where I was like, oh, I'm gonna remember who they are because they're like the person who did this and everything. And I don't know, it was really good. But yeah, I really enjoyed the show. Jason Sudeikis is like I think I'm like an all time fan. Like no matter what he's in, I'm gonna really
Yeah,
enjoy.
this is cemented.
And he just like knocked it out of the park with this
Just
this
fingers,
show, and I
just
was
fingers crossed he doesn't sexually assault someone. Please, for the love of God,
I don't know.
don't turn out to be an asshole secretly. Please.
Not with that shoe game, bro. He's popping off. He's But yeah, overall, love the show, and you need to finish it. You need to finish it. If you're watching this,
I'll probably
you probably have already
go
seen
and
the
finish
entire
it right
show,
now.
but it's great, and I loved it.
And Succession sucks. Wait, sorry, no, it's not for me. I don't want to get flamed. It's just not for
a lot
me.
of people are gonna say Succession is like one of the best shows. It might be good. It's just not our thing. It's just not our thing.
Yes.
And you know, sometimes you have to accept that, you know?
Please,
And,
whenever I say suck, just bleep that out. I don't want to get attacked, please.
No, I'm gonna put that at the beginning of the video. So when people click on it, it's just right there. Fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
All right, that's it. We're done.
Okay.
Wait, did you have anything else to say?
Poopy.